Okay, thank you. So first we will be discussing about some common BIM myths. Okay, some common myths in the industry about BIM. First one is that BIM is just for 3D modeling. I have talked to many clients, many contractors, and many people who are in the industry who are in the industry for a long time, maybe 20 years, 25 years. What they know about BIM is that they think that BIM is only a 3D modeling tool. Okay, so BIM is not a 3D modeling software, is not just a 3D modeling software. Okay, so let's start with the basics. So let's understand what is BIM. Okay, building information modeling. So the building in this BIM, okay, it's not the actual building we are talking about. Okay, it's not the physical building. It's actually creating information modeling. Okay, you're creating an information model. Okay, so you are creating an information rich model. Okay, so it is not majorly about the 3D model, it's about the information that it contains in the 3D model. Okay, so BIM is not just for 3D modeling. It's about the information. The information can be graphical, it can be non-graphical, it can be quantities, it can be energy parameters. Okay, it can be anything. So BIM is, this is a very common myth in the industry that I've seen over a period of time, that people associate BIM with just 3D modeling. It is not the case. BIM is used majorly for the information that it provides. Okay, it can be a digital data set, it can be a database. Okay, so it can the information that contains in the BIM model can be graphical, can be a non-graphical data. Okay, so it is not just a 3D modeling process. Second common myth, okay, everybody, whenever we meet a new consultant who's not using BIM, okay, whenever we talk to them, their major hesitation towards shifting towards BIM is that they think that BIM is very expensive. Okay, this is a very common myth that BIM is expensive. I definitely agree that there will be initially an upfront cost for any organization or any company to shift to BIM platform from a traditional one. They have to purchase the hardware, they have to purchase the software, they have to get the adequate manpower for it. Okay, so there is an initial upfront cost, but if you implement properly BIM over a period of time, it will reap benefits. Okay, the long-term benefits of BIM is more than the initial upfront cost that BIM has when an organization is shifting towards BIM. Okay, is this clear, everyone? Next common myth is that BIM is only used for big projects. Okay, this is also a very common myth that BIM is used only for big projects. Yeah, you might have seen that BIM is being used for metro projects, stadium projects, right? You might you even know that the new Indian Parliament building is built using BIM. So these are all big projects, right? Whatever you see are all big projects. Why BIM is used in BIM for big projects? The reason is majorly in countries like, for example, let's start with Europe. Okay, in countries like Europe, all the countries under European Union, okay, it is mandatory that every public sector building under Europe has to be mandatorily be constructed using BIM. Otherwise, the government won't authorize it. So the public sector buildings in Europe are not really big projects. It can be as simple as a town hall. Okay, it can be as simple as a townhouse, a small get-together area. Okay, it's not necessarily, it's always a big project. Okay, if a project, if a process can reduce the cost, okay, for a big project, then it definitely can reduce the cost for a small project. Okay, so many countries are mandating BIM for every project that is going to happen, irrespective of whether it is small or big. In UAE, there was an instance, in UAE still it is there, that if you are constructing any building which is above 30 stories, it has to be mandatorily be constructed using BIM. Okay, that was the case earlier, that every big project should be considered in them, because in big project, if you save even 1% of cost, okay, you're saving a lot of money. That is the reason all the big projects are majorly attracted towards BIM. Okay, that is why even government bodies are enforcing BIM to bigger projects. It doesn't mean that BIM is only for big projects. Okay, if BIM can be beneficial for a big project, definitely it will be beneficial for a smaller project also. Okay. This is also a very common myth, that BIM is just a construction trend. BIM is a fad. Okay, so many people might be thinking this virtual construction and BIM is something new, and this is the right time. No, it's not. BIM has been there, or virtual construction has been there in many different forms from the beginning. Okay, do you all know about the Revit software, right? So can someone tell me what is the full form of Revit? Revit? Anybody? Revit? Anybody? So there's a story behind it. Revit is actually, the full form of it is revise it. Okay, that was the actual name, initial name. So it was not an Autodesk software then. It was just a 3D modeling software. It was owned by the Revise It company only then. Later, Autodesk saw the potential in that software, and they acquired and they shortened it, and they started calling it as Revit. So it is. So if you see many people in the industry, if you search LinkedIn and all, you can see BIM engineer or BIM professional with 20 years of experience. So, so 20 years back there was BIM. Um, so the way in which, or the frequency in which the projects were implemented 20 years back and the projects are implemented now, there is a huge difference. Okay, but it is not something completely new or something which is, a recent trend. It has been there always. Okay, but it was used only for a few elite projects, but it is now a common thing, and it has now become a necessity for people to learn them. Okay. This is also a very common myth, that BIM only benefits designers and contractors. Okay, so BIM, as you know, it's a data-rich model platform, right? It generates a lot of data. Okay, so if a designer can benefit from, design consultant can benefit from BIM, definitely contractor can benefit from it. During construction, his time, his material, everything is getting saved. Similarly, all the subcontractors under him will be benefited by it. And the most benefit of BIM will be for the owner or the client who is actually planning to implement BIM, or who has implemented BIM, who is saying that I want this project to be in BIM. Okay, so BIM is not only beneficial for a particular set of stakeholders, it is beneficial for every stakeholder, every participant in that project. Okay, and it basically, you have a consistent, structured and digital data. Okay, you have everything, you have transparency here. You will also know what you need to do, what are your responsibilities. Okay, what is, there is a BIM protocol document which basically sets the obligations of all the stakeholders, which basically tells what each stakeholder needs to do in this project. Okay, what are their specific roles, what are their specific responsibilities. So everything is in a clean, organized way, so it definitely benefits all the stakeholders and all the participants involved in the project. Okay, is this clear everyone till now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, this is again a myth which I told you yesterday also, that BIM is just a software. This is a very common myth. When you talk to people who don't know about BIM, they think that BIM is a software. So it's a construction process, as I mentioned earlier. It's a construction 3D, intelligent 3D model based construction process used by architects, engineers, and construction professionals so that they can efficiently plan, design, construct, and manage buildings. Okay. Next, this is also a very common myth that BIM solves clashes. Okay. If you, I have many experiences on this. That whenever I talk to people who don't really know BIM but are in the construction industry for a long time, and when they talk to us, they think that we are the software expert or the computer experts who can do magic. They will approach you like that. They will give them your AutoCAD drawings and they think that it magically resolves all the clashes. Okay, it doesn't happen that way. Okay, what BIM does, or what a BIM software can do, is that BIM software can identify the clashes wherever the issues are. Software can tell you that here there is an issue, here there is a clash. Okay, it will not magically resolve anything. It will just tell you there is a clash. You have to use your common sense to resolve the clash. Okay, so there is no replacement for common sense in this. There are various AI tools which is being developed in this area where we are trying to automate a lot of this, but still it will always require a human intervention at one point or other to resolve clash. Okay.